Okay, just imagine this for a second. You're driving along, maybe on the Monash, and then clunk, silence. Your car is dead. It's that moment we all dread. Well, in this explainer, we're going to turn that panic into a plan. We'll take you from stranded to sorted. So, you've done the right thing. You've managed to get over to the side of the road. Those hazard lights are just blinking and blinking. And you've got that awful, sinking feeling in your gut. What's the very first question that flashes through your mind? For pretty much everyone, it's always the same one. Yep, that's it, the big one. Before you're even thinking about what's wrong with the car, you're worrying about your bank account. So let's cut through the noise. Instead of a vague, well, it depends, let's start with a real solid number. Look, that anxiety is totally normal, but the best way to fight that feeling is with facts. Knowing the numbers is really the first step to getting back in the driver's seat, so to speak. So let's put a price tag on that worry. Okay, let's get right to it. You can expect your starting point, kind of like the base rate, to be right around $150. Now, what does that get you? Typically, that covers a standard car for the first 10 kilometers of the tow. But, and you knew there was a but coming, right? That $150 is just the beginning. There are a few key things that can make that number jump up, and they can do it really, really fast. Let's break down how it all adds up. So, we're going to pull back the curtain on that towing bill. I want you to actually understand what goes into that final price. This way, you know exactly what you're paying for and why. No surprises. So it really boils down to just a few key things. First up, distance. After that first 10K, the meter starts wanting per kilometer. Then there's your vehicle. A big, heavy 4WD is just harder to tow than a little hatchback, so that's going to cost you about 20 to 30% extra. Time and day are huge too. Calling it 3 a.m. on a public holiday will definitely have a surcharge. And finally, the situation itself. If your car's stuck in a tight underground car park or down a ditch, that extra work means extra cost. Makes sense, right? Now, check out how this all plays out. That base $150 tow? Well, if you need to go, say, 40 kilometers, you're already in the $250 to $350 range. And if that happens after hours, tack on another $50 to $100. All of a sudden, you could be looking at a bill well over $400. It just shows you how quickly those little things combine. But hey, here's a little bit of good news for us Melburnians. When you look at the regulated per kilometer rates, that's the cost after the base fee, we're actually one of the most affordable major cities in Australia. That rate is noticeably higher up in Sydney and Brisbane, so, it could be worse. Of course, not every breakdown needs the whole tow truck experience. Sometimes it's the classic, oops, I left my lights on situation. A flat battery jumpstart service will usually start from about $89. But if you've locked your keys in the car, that's a more specialized job, and you're probably looking at a starting cost closer to $210 to get back in. Okay, let's totally shift gears now and talk about something much more serious. An accident scene is a completely different ballgame. It's stressful, it's confusing, and there are strict Vic Roads rules that you absolutely need to know to protect yourself. And this is so important. These aren't just suggestions, these are legal requirements. They're designed specifically to stop people from taking advantage of you when you're shaken up after a crash. All right, listen up, because this is probably the single most important piece of paper you'll see. It's called the authority to tow. Your car cannot be moved 1 single inch until you have signed this form, and the law says it must detail all the services and every single cost involved. The whole system is set up to keep you safe. Just remember these 4 steps. 1, the driver has to give you that official Vic Roads leaflet about your rights. 2, you only sign the authority to tow after you've read it and you understand the costs. 3, you are the one who tells them where your car is going. And 4, you pay the official regulated fee. Follow these steps and you stay in complete control of a situation. And burn these key rights into your memory. Only trucks with the right accreditation plates can even attend an accident. It is absolutely illegal for anyone, the tow driver, anyone, to try and push you towards a certain repair shop. You have the right to call anyone you want for advice. And you never, ever have to decide on a repair right there on the side of the road. These rules are your shield. Use them. So, there you are. You're stranded. You're stressed out. You pull out your phone. Who do you even call? I mean, there are so many companies out there. How are you supposed to find one you can trust when the pressure is really on? It really comes down to 2 main choices. You've got your local, pay-as-you-go companies. They can be great if you don't drive that often. You only pay when you need them, and for a local job, they can be super quick. On the other hand, you have the subscription services like RACV. You pay an annual fee, but then you get unlimited call-outs for pretty much everything. This is usually great value if you're on the road a lot or have a couple of cars in the family. Okay, let's pull all of this together into a super practical, easy-to-use checklist. This is the stuff that's going to make you feel completely in charge if you ever find yourself in this spot. This is how you go from feeling powerless to totally empowered. Here's a little pro tip for you. Before you even dial the number, take just 30 seconds to get this info ready. Knowing your exact location, where you want the car to go, your car's model, and what's wrong with it, well, that's going to get you a much faster, more accurate quote. It'll save you a ton of stress on the call. And when you're on that phone call, you need to hit them with these two massive questions. First, are you fully insured? And second, can you give me a clear, all-inclusive quote right now? If they hesitate or get weird about answering either of those, that's a huge red flag. Hang up and call someone else. It's as simple as that. So at the end of the day, after all the numbers and the rules, it all just boils down to trust. You now have the knowledge you need to turn a potential disaster into just an annoying inconvenience. You know what to do, you know what to ask, and you know what to look for. So the only real question left is, when you're stuck on the side of that road, who are you going to trust with your keys?